there, it's Laken from Plan with Laken, and I am here today to talk through my bullet journal, how it's been going so far this month, and set up next week. If this is your first time here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you saw my video from last week, I talked about how I'm going to be using a bullet journal to sort of supplement my everyday planning. I will still be using my Erin Condren as my day-to-day planner, but my bullet journal will supplement some tracking in terms of lists and even some additional weekly tracking and challenges. I walk through all of that and sort of my thought process behind it in that video, which I will link below. Today, I want to talk about sort of how July has been going and then go ahead and set up the upcoming week. But before we jump into that, I have two questions for you guys. The first one is about erasing. As I learned from the many bullet journalers that I have watched on YouTube, it is wise to go through things with pencil before going down with actual pen. However, I still messed up. I've been going in with this, nothing fancy. It's literally a Papermate pencil that I found at the office. Then going over it with my Paper Microns and then erasing it with this Faber-Castell, I think I'm pronouncing that properly, eraser. And what happens when I do that, I will try to show it on video and see if you can tell, but it erases some of the ink. I notice it really easily, and I just don't know if I'm using the wrong pencil, the wrong eraser, is it the Micron, is it I'm erasing too hard? Let me know in the comments, have you guys ever had issues with this, or is it just something I'm gonna have to get used to? Which also leads me to my second question, which is about shadowing. This is my July intro page, and you can see behind it. And it more so bothers me on this side. So this is my monthly layout that I'm doing the Oh So Cute Doodle Challenge. And it really bothers me that I can see the Julys behind it. I will still keep trying. I know it's only been a couple of weeks and maybe long-term the shadowing will not bother me. However, right now it does. And I know there are a couple of solutions. I could glue pages together and only use every other page, or I could get a notebook with thicker paper. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Did you just get over the shadowing? Am I just using too heavy of a hand? Would you recommend one of the solutions I talked about? I want this to work because from a productivity perspective, it's working fabulously, but the shadowing is bothering me, as is the erasing problem. Okay, let's jump in. So the July intro page, I just did July in a variety of fonts. I really like the way this turned out. I will probably do the same thing for August. This is my Oh So Cute Doodle Challenge, and I decided just to use one mild liner color. I'm using the gold to do sort of the accents. It worked out really well when lemonade was the word for the day, or the doodle for the day. I loved how this turned out. It looks really clean, but still fun. I still haven't quite figured out what I'm gonna do in this extra space, but we'll get there. So then the next page is my Llamas Love Lettering Every Damn Day challenge that is hosted by Cindy from Llama Letters. She just does a word per day and you're supposed to practice your lettering. This month's theme is words that sound inappropriate, but actually are appropriate. I think I said that right. So I did a 2-page spread and then I just like wrote the date and the extra space. I really don't like the way this turned out. I think I had too much space, and I also just was trying to get used to the shadow and not using a super heavy hand or a super thick pen. The next page is my health tracking. So I did a meal plan on the left and then tracking on the right. Just to recap from the other video, the top part is calories and then macros from what I ate from this page. And then the bottom is my Apple Watch statistics. So I threw in these cute little stickers from Lily Henry to sort of mark those. And then I start all over. Those are the only 2 spreads I have for a weekly page. Again, this is the lettering challenge and then the health tracking. You can see my meal plan went all kinds of awry this week. This doesn't bother me. Like the different arrows and the crossing out and all that stuff, that doesn't bother me, but yet the shadowing really bothers me. I don't know what my problem is. As we go into setup next week, I'm going to change a couple of things. So the first one is I'm going to put this challenge on 1 page. Again, I felt like I had too much space, and because it's only 1 word each day, I can fit that on 1 page, all 7 words. Some months, her challenges are a phrase or a movie title, and those months I might have to go back to 2 pages, but we will cross that bridge when we come to it. Then on the other page, I'm going to do a time tracker. So if you've ever watched Cindy, and I will link her channel below, she does a time tracker in her bullet journal where she tracks every half hour of her day and breaks it up into 15 different categories. And each category is associated with a color. Each square is a half hour, and she highlights how she spends her time. Sometimes I feel like I get a lot done, and sometimes I wonder where the heck all my time is going. So I've been watching a lot of her videos lately, and I really just want to at least try it for a week. Probably at least a couple, just to see how it goes, see if it's something that I like, see if it's eye-opening at all. So I reached out to Cindy. We're friends. I have met her at a number of planner events in the past, and we've been on teams together. And so I just wanted to pick her brain and ask her a couple of questions about the time tracking. So I'm gonna go ahead and start to set up next week while I continue to tell you guys what I learned from my conversation with Cindy. So the first one, why are you tracking it? What are you looking to get out of this? What are you trying to discover? Know that going into it, and that will really help you determine what categories you're going to use, etc. It doesn't have to be 100% accurate. There's gonna be times where you spend 5 or 10 minutes doing something and you don't track that. So do what the majority of the time on the half hour, and it doesn't have to be perfect. The more specific your categories are, the harder it's going to be. So being more vague is better. She has a hierarchy of tracking categories. So for example, if she is hanging out with her husband, but also doing work for her channel or her Patreons, she will categorize that as work because she wants to know how much time she's spending on work as opposed to with her husband. So I need to think about that as well. If I'm doing more than one thing at any given time, which will take the priority. And this sort of leads me to avoiding multitasking. So many personal development books and speakers and podcasts and YouTube channels tell you that multitasking is actually not a good thing. It is better to do one thing well than more than one thing not at your best. I'm also hoping this will help me multitask less. And the last one is just to be honest. If you spend an hour sitting on your phone, playing on social media, mark it down. That's the only way you're really gonna find out where your time is going. Okay, so this side is going to be for the lettering challenge, like I said before. At the top, I'm just gonna put the dates that it is for. So it is... I couldn't find a good place to print out the challenge and put it somewhere. And so I found myself having to either go to my phone and look it up every single day I wanted to do the challenge. So what I'm gonna do is I went ahead and wrote out all of the words for next week, and I'm going to just write them in the corner. That's one of the things I love about the bullet journal is if I try something one week and I don't like it, then next week I can just change it. Okay, now for the time tracking. The hours go down the left, so I'm going to do, my goal every day is to be up at between 5:30 and 6, so I'm gonna start this at 5. So the goal will be for all my sleep to be grouped here together. And then across the top, it's 2 columns per day. Then I'm gonna take a slightly thicker pen to just write this at the top. Okay, now for the categories. So these are the 15 categories I'm going to use to track my time. So you can't see them on screen, but I have all my Mildliners here and I'm going to sort of pair them. I definitely don't like the brown, so I'm just gonna make that the other. The goal will be to track everything and then that won't matter. And then let's see, I really like this teal, so what do I do? Wait, I have sleep on here twice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I can't count, y'all. Okay, I take it back. I'm only gonna do 14 for now. Sleep was on here twice, but workout was missing. So I'm not gonna use the gray one because it's not a color. And we gotta finish out the rest of it. That's the final list. So now I'm gonna put that right here in my bullet journal. There is my setup. I still need to set up my health tracking pages, but they're gonna look like this, just like last week. And I don't want this video to be 800 zillion years long. So we're gonna cut it off there. We will see how this works. I'm really excited to track all of my time. I'm not sure what I'm gonna use this space for yet. I might just write some notes based on how things go, but I am really excited to steal this idea from Cindy. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Happy planning.